What's up, everyone? You're tuned in to the channel Eeps, episode 158. I'm your host, EEPMON. May is upon us, and the weather is fantastic. And I can't believe how fast time flies. People already talking about vacation, but we all know that it's never vacation for our line of work as creative entrepreneurs, freelancers. It's during this time where things potentially can get slower because people are ready to wind down and prepare for the upcoming summer. Weather is great, people are out. So, what do I do? What do I do as an entrepreneur, as a creative, engaged in a 24/7 mindset of let's continue to do things? Well, spring is an opportunity to refresh. All right, tax season is over, start anew, reassess, reflect, and start planning for the next phase. And for those who are following me, especially my Instagram, please follow, subscribe, like, whatever. I'm on EEPMON and Instagram. That I divide my year into arcs. There's EEPMON Arc 1, which is from January to March. EEPMON Arc 2, basically is every quarter, basically, right? So there are four 3 months arcs, and so 3 times 4 is 12, of course, so that's 1 year. And what I do is that, okay, summertime's coming up, and what are the things that I'm working on now? And with that, what am I preparing or planning or strategizing for the summer? And sort of start to develop the plan with what's happening right now. Now, complete transparent, of course, my Library and Archives Canada creator in residence is going to take me all the way to October, because this is an 8-month residency. And at the same time, there are some projects, I won't name them at the moment. Potentially, if all three happens, I'm going to be insanely crazy busy. But one, I certainly don't want to take things for granted. One outcome, one possibility that yes, all three happens, but equally, the possibilities of not having anything happening is also valid too, is equally possible. So statistically, that's why you have to play your cards. That's why you have to plan. You got to strategize such that to manifest and make those things happen, you need to plan ahead. Otherwise, everything has an equal chance of occurring. So if I don't do nothing, there is an equal chance of nothing happening at all. So I'm planning. There are three things moving the needle forward, and I would say 2 out of the 3, the conversations that are happening are going to start around May or June. So, my mind right now, I'm starting to plant my own seed in my mind. Okay, around this date, maybe early May, mid-May, I will start to ping and reach out. Also, I've been emailing and following up with people for coffee meetings, just to touch base, reconnect, sync up, and seeing what potential alignments could happen between myself and my counterparts, institutions, etc. Now, as some of you know, I was in Japan last month. I can't believe it's already been a month. And in Japan is the Osaka Expo, and we have the Canadian Pavilion over there. And with the relationships I built, whether or not something does happen, some sort of activation, for me, I'm completely content with that. What was more important is, as I mentioned, the relationships that I've already established. So whether something happens at Osaka or something happens post Osaka Expo, um, is a very, I think for me, it's really planning really long term. That being said, I'm not going to stop myself from continuing the dialogue and continuing the discussions of potentially exploring what can happen, perhaps near the tail end of the Osaka Expo, which would be around August, September. That means if something does happen, I will find myself back in Asia August, September timeframe. But that means I'll have to come back to Canada or Ottawa, especially in October, because that is when the final reveal and my final public engagement of my Library Archives Canada Creator Residence um, um, will happen. That being said, speaking of public engagements, we're still planning. But I believe my first public engagement with my progress report, my progress, and just engaging the public, what I've been doing at the residency, will be early June. As well, I'm going to be participating in the Doors Open Ottawa, where essentially what Doors Open Ottawa is that people, institutions, or federal governments, specific departments, open their doors for the public to come in. So I will be with Library Archives Canada at 395 Wellington early June as well. I'll confirm the dates on social media on my Instagram, but I'll spend a Saturday and a Sunday to show what I've been working on, some things I've been creating, and just have conversations with the public about what I'm doing at Library Archives. It's a win-win. It's great. And I believe that Library Archives will also do some social media around that. Now, of course, May is also Asian Heritage Month. So, of course, what I am researching at the Library Archives, which is the Chinese Exclusion Act, falls perfectly in line with the messaging and the narrative and the story. So so for sure there will be some activation about that. And also early May, May 8th, I will be speaking at Ottawa Design Club at Club Saw to talk about my work, talk about the theme is called Flip the Script. So for those who are in Ottawa who like to just be engaged and mingle with fellow designers and creatives, come check it out. Myself and two other speakers will be there. I'll put a link to the show notes, my in my YouTube info to learn more, get the tickets, and I hope to see you there May 8th. So yeah, there's all these things lining up. So I'm just really just talking out loud, stream of consciousness. But really, that's my plan. Sort of things are happening coming up in May. And then June is going to be more my public engagement with Library Archives, public engagement with archives. May is going to be the Ottawa Design Club. And then summertime is coming out, like June, July. It's crazy, right? God, that's when I'm talking about those three other projects I'm talking about are going to probably start the ball rolling in those conversations. Now, there's a third one, which I believe that it's going to happen, but not immediately. It'll just take time. But I know that we have some meetings coming up in May, and then later on July, I think are going to have more constructive discussions. But all exciting, okay? Now, the reason why I'm talking about all this stuff, of course, is my way of like reflecting and thinking about my trajectory. But this is also the thinking of what an entrepreneur does, not just entrepreneur, but what we creatives, or kind of showing you how I think, well, how I go about my day to day. For those who are curious of like, oh, how EEPMON, how do you do it? What do you do? How do you get out there into the world? How do you network? How do you engage? This is what I do. I actually have a notebook, right? I have a notebook. I write down my plan. I mind map it out, and I actually sort of like create priorities. This is a high priority, medium priority, low priority, and start to like, and based on this mind mapping, I can start to really hone in on exactly what are the tasks required to accomplish these things. Um, so yeah, many moving parts. I thought I'd share that. I thought we kind of need to explain that sort of the process. And also, maybe I might do another upgrade of my studio. I might be getting some new furniture to extend my workspace. So yeah, a mini spring refresh the space a bit. But yeah, I thought you like. Anyway, I'm kind of regurgitating the same thing over and over again. But please like and subscribe. I hope you like what I have to talk about. It's just really about, hey, we're coming. May is right around the corner, and what goes around, how I plan, how I think. So if you enjoy this, please like and subscribe. How about you? What do you do? How do you plan? You creators, like, if you have any questions, leave it down in the show notes, leave it down in the comments, and let me know. All right, talk to you later. Until next time, this is the Channel Eves, episode 158. I will talk to you all soon. Bye bye.